As a data analyst, you want to be able to provide your business with answers and solutions to the questions they are asking. Using measures, you can gain valuable insights into your data, drive strategic decisions, and enhance your business's performance. Over the next couple of minutes, you'll explore the different types of measures in Power BI. AdventureWorks is using different types of measures to prepare its annual sales report. To compile this report, it must analyze its sales data across different regions and generate insights into specific products and sales team members. Let's explore the different types of measures AdventureWorks can use to prepare its report. Before we explore measures, let's quickly review the concept of additivity. Additivity refers to how measures behave when aggregated across different dimensions. For example, summing or averaging values. However, not all measures behave the same way. So, understanding the behavior and categorization of measures is crucial for accurate data analysis and visualization in Power BI. Measures are essential for performing quantitative analysis and deriving meaningful insights from the data. They provide a way to summarize, calculate, and compare data across various dimensions based on specific criteria and business requirements. Measures can be categorized into three types: additive, semi-additive, and non-additive. Let's explore these types of measures in more detail. Additive measures facilitate data aggregation across any business dimension, like time, geography, or product categories. The basic mathematical operations applied to these measures are addition and subtraction. These types of measures provide consistent results, regardless of how you group data. Additive measures also use the sum-DAX function to aggregate over any attribute. For example, AdventureWorks' monthly sales analysis report shows revenue and quantities sold by product category and region. This data is for a specific unit of time, in this case, per month. You can use additive measures to aggregate revenue and quantities sold by summing them across all dimensions. This allows you to view the total revenue and total quantities sold while analyzing the performance of various products, regions, and months of the year. Next is non-additive measures. Non-additive measures cannot be meaningfully aggregated across any dimension. These measures involve calculations like ratios, averages, and percentages. The result of aggregating a non-additive measure can be skewed or misleading and should be handled with caution. For example, at AdventureWorks, the average sales per customer is a non-additive measure. The average sales per customer in January is $300, and in February, it's $350. However, it doesn't make sense to add these averages and state that the average sales per customer for the 2 months is $650. Instead, calculate the total sales and total numbers of customers for the 2 months combined. Then divide the total sales by the total number of customers to obtain the correct average sales per customer for the period. Finally, let's explore semi-additive measures. Semi-additive measures can be aggregated over some, but not all dimensions. They're mostly used in situations where the data represents a state at a particular point in time. They've meaningful aggregation for certain dimensions, but not for all. Like with additive measures, semi-additive measures use sum to aggregate over some dimensions, and a different aggregation over other dimensions. Examples of semi-additive measures that AdventureWorks use include inventory balance and current account balance. AdventureWorks has created a measure called inventory at hand. It uses this measure to add inventory across different product categories or store locations. But the measure can't be used to add up the inventory across time, like the change in inventory over a 2-month period. This is because it's semi-additive. For example, AdventureWorks had 50 bicycles in stock at the end of January and 60 at the end of February. But it would not be accurate to say that it had 110 bicycles in stock for the 2 months. The stock level changed over this period. It wasn't a fixed unit or measurement. You should now be able to identify and distinguish between the different types of measures in Power BI. Each of these measures plays a unique role in generating insights and guiding decision-making. As always, with data analysis, it is vital to remember that the value lies not just in the numbers, but in their correct and thoughtful interpretation.